I'm Belen.
And I'm Savannah.
And we work for a New England real estate firm.
Our colony consists of 4 regions.
These colonies are the Massachusetts Bay Colony, the Rhode Island Colony, the Connecticut Colony, and the Plymouth Colony, and the province of New Hampshire. What is the geography and climate?
The regions in our colonies are mostly made of dense soil and forest. Some places, however, did have very good farmland. Others did not and had to rely on harvesting fish and whales for food. How is the climate in our regions?
The climate is there's short but warm summers and long but very, very cold winters. And this climate makes the growing season in the area only around 5 months of the year. What are our colony's activities?
We are going to introduce you to 2 of our colonists. These are 2 of our colonists, William and Sarah.
What kind of jobs do you do?
In my colony, it is very popular for us to be hunters and gatherers. There are many whalers and fishermen, and I myself work as a fisherman on boats all day long gathering fish. These jobs are important because all of the products we make, instead of them being traded with Britain, we instead trade them with the West Indies for their products like sugar and molasses because we don't have them. We make these trades to the New English region's rum distilling industry because it is booming.
So what is the role of women in your colonies?
Women in the New England colonies play more of a role in day-to-day life than in the other colonies. Most women here were homemakers whose job was to cook meals for the rest of the family, clean and sometimes make cloths, or doctor the family, make and sell other household items to other families, and take care of any animals, plants the family had owned.
How early were women usually married in your colony?
Women were typically married at the age of 13 or 14, but no later than 25 years of age.
What was the role of being a mother?
Being a mother, we had to start our days early so we could start the fire, get water, and get fresh fruits and vegetables for the meals we would cook throughout the day. The most important job we had was teaching young girls how to become wives and mothers. This job was carried out whenever possible and consisted of teaching the girls how to do the activities that women did on a day-to-day basis. This included cooking, harvesting, cloth making, cleaning homes and cloths, gardening, and caring for children. What was family like? Were families typically big or small?
Families typically consisted of a few children, no more than 3 or 4, and a mother and a father in the home. Infant mortality rate in your colonies at the time?
Over 12% of children born would die in their first year, meaning that only 88 of children lived past their first year.
What was the life expectancy for adults in the colonies?
Life expectancy for adults was about 65 to 70 years. What was the role of a religion like in the New England colonies?
The term Bible Commonwealth was often used for the New England colonies because they usually used guidance of scriptures in their colonies. Citizens believed that guidance of scripture was all that they needed to obtain their religious beliefs. In your colony, what was the role for the Native Americans?
Native Americans were a big part of the New England colonies. The natives traded with the colonists, which helped both sides become closer with each other. Some things that were traded included ideas on how to live and hunt. Also, some things such as cloths, foods, crops, and weapons were traded from both sides back and forth. What was the role of African Americans in y'all's colony?
Due to farming and other hard labor being uncommon in the New England colonies, slavery here was not the largest thing ever. Although saying that slaves didn't exist in this area would be a lie. They were mainly used as servants in housing and more common places in lumber yards and shipbuilding ports. Enslaved people in the New England colonies were kept in good health and working conditions, as if they weren't just a burden to people. There were some rules in place, such as curfew for both African Americans and the Native Americans, and this rule said that they were not allowed out past 9 p.m. unless they were doing a specific job or their owner had a specific task for them.
What were educational opportunities like in the New England colonies?
Schooling in the New England colonies are technically public schools, but it's not in the sense that it is today. The schooling in New England was public in the way that anyone who could pay could go to school. Schooling was not expensive. Here as it was a religious activity to go to school. The rough pay was 6 pence a week per class. Families could also pay in more rural areas with crops they harvested. Along with that, every student was required to bring a bundle of wood for fire in the winter. The schools were not just for boys, but they were often filled with both boys and girls of different ages. The students attended schools whenever they could, for example, for 2 months and then take a month off to help with shop or farm. Once they came back, they would pick up where they left off. These schools taught reading, writing, grammar, spelling, and basic math. They also were taught some about religious and moral matters.
What was local government like?
In the New England colonies, the political system was less than the southern colonies. New England government was town-based and called on every man to vote in the town's political decisions. Town meetings were called where members were elected to participate in provincial government meetings. The people that made up the government of the New England colonies included merchants, lawyers, and others made of social and political higher classes.
To sum it all up, why should you come to the New England colonies?
Men have good work ethic.
Women have the role of taking care of households and teaching their daughters.
Some regions have good crop life.
African Americans and Native Americans weren't always treated horribly.
Schools were open to all genders and ages, if you could pay.
They had short and not excruciatingly hot summers because nobody likes the heat.
They had long and very cold winters.
And lastly, our trading industry is booming. And that is why you should come to the New England colonies. Make the move, it's worth it.